Hey guys, welcome back to Sam's Garden Project, where I'm growing in the suburbs of Melbourne, Australia. So as you can tell maybe by my hair and the sound through the camera, that it's quite windy today, and the weather this weekend is going to be quite cold and wet. So I thought today we might just go around the garden and harvest everything that there is to be harvested that is frost tender, or so all the summer veg. I've got loofahs, I've got pumpkins, watermelon, even a little watermelon, which surprised me. But we'll go around and harvest all of that today, so that over the weekend I don't need to worry about it and it doesn't get damaged by any of the frost that potentially will be coming in the next week or so, and the cold and wet weather that we'll be getting over the weekend. So I've got a bowl to put everything in, and I've got a trusty pair of scissors so we can go around and collect everything. So that's the loofahs done. I only managed to get 2 loofahs. It was just too cold of a season. These ones are fully dried out. You can hear the crackling noise. So I'm going to go inside and peel these, and we should have a little sponge, and I should have seeds for next season that I'll be able to grow, because I used up the last of my loofah seeds with this, and as you can tell, the vine, I've just pulled it down, but the vine wasn't very big and I've only got 2 little fruits on it. Over here I might also get some basil that's just down there, so that I can preserve that up and put it in the kitchen. So I've given that a big cutback. I'm not worried about it regrowing because it's going to be cooler weather now, and so I can pull that out eventually, or just put some compost over the top of the base of the herb, of the basil, and it'll just add to the soil. But that's a good handful. We'll get some chamomile here as well. We'll just harvest everything there is to harvest. So this is our colander already. I might need to go inside and get some more bowls to put things in, because we've got quite a bit more to harvest. Let's get all the jalapenos as well. So I haven't actually done a harvest of capsicums. I've only grabbed 1 or 2 throughout the season, and you can see this one's got heaps on them and they're turning red, but they are quite small. They're all about the similar size. So I think that's more to do with the weather. Also probably I didn't keep up the fertilizer, but it's still a nice amount to be able to make something with. And they're actually looking quite good. Most of them are quite firm. Only a few have little blemishes like that one there. But otherwise they look quite good. So I'm going to go through and harvest the rest of these plants. And that is our harvest of jalapenos, whoops, and capsicums. It's not a bad harvest, but it's not a great harvest either. But according to the weather and the seasons, it's not too bad. Alright, so in this very end bed, we have 2 butternut pumpkins, which they're not getting any bigger and they're not changing, like that's the most colour they're going to get, even though there is some green. This one was crossed with a zucchini, so we'll see how that tastes. You can see it's got a bit more green colour in it. So we'll harvest them. And the little watermelon that was here. I don't have much expectations for this watermelon, but I can cut it open and you can see the stalks all dried up and the should just be able to come straight up. I'll cut it open, see what's inside. It's probably not going to be much like juicy flesh, but regardless, I grew a watermelon and that's something to be proud of. Let's get these ones as well. I have to cut them, hang on a minute. So these aren't going to be for very long term storage because I've only got 2 little butternut pumpkins, but if you're going to store them for a while, you want to leave a bit of the stem, and so that as it's drying out, it's not opening up the top of the fruit to any disease or fungus or mold or anything. So you keep a bit of the stalk, and then that helps it stay fresher for longer in long-term storage. So I bought a celery from the shops and I cut the end off and I just stuck it in the garden, and as you can see it is re-sprouting from the stem. So I'm surprised the birds haven't dug this whole thing up, to be honest, but it's just placed very shallowly in the soil. It's obviously happy and it started to sprout, so we'll see if we get any celery from a supermarket celery offcut, so the base of it that you cut off and compost, stick it in the garden and it'll reshoot. I've also got some more basil in this bed, so I'm going to take the cover off and we can harvest that. Look at these huge basil leaves. So healthy, but it took forever to grow. You can see this one here. It's beginning to go to flower, so it's a good time to harvest them all. I'll be able to preserve them up into something. Get them in the house instead of them just going to waste and getting frost damage in the garden. I haven't got too much more in the garden to harvest actually. I've got these little summer squashes or yellow squash, but they're only small and they've got to dry out a lot more actually, like the stem, that bit has to dry out. So I'm happy to leave these out here until the plant dies back. You can see they're beginning to yellow. These were only put in like end of Jan, early Feb, as like a discounted end-of-line seedling. So I wasn't expecting them to get massive, but I've managed to get 3 little fruits, and even if they're not good for eating, they still can look cute as a decoration inside the house. So we'll leave them for now, but as soon as the first frost comes and the weather cools too much and the plants die, as soon as the plants die, I'll come out and harvest those 3. So we've got beetroot in this bed where we just harvested the basil. Probably come out and harvest 1 or 2 now. They're looking a good size. Even the stems for salad, and we've got cauliflower, which is just starting to form heads. So that's good. I'm going to keep the net on this so the cabbage moth butterflies don't lay their eggs. I'll fix that up in a minute. But we've got a few cauliflowers and they'll be ready in a month or so. And we've got some lemons that are turning yellow, so we'll probably go and harvest some of them, but I don't need lemons at the moment, so they can stay on the tree. And let's have a look what else. I might actually harvest 1 or 2 lemons just to have them inside, and I can put them in some hot water and just to keep on top of them. Otherwise, if I don't harvest them, oops, then they just stay on the tree. Oops. And they just get so many. So you can see some are starting to turn yellow now. There's plenty of green ones still to ripen, but if I keep on top of it, it'll be easier for me in the long run. I also have these zucchini, and these were a late planting as well. They've got a lot of powdery mildew on them. I'm not expecting any of that fruit. I think I've harvested 1 small one over there. There's one that looks like it's been 1 or 2 that's been pollinated, so we'll leave them for another week or so. We'll just see how the weather goes. I'm not expecting anything from this one, but we'll see if those 2 can mature and get any bigger, and we might be in with some last little zucchinis. But all my carrot seeds have popped up. They've been protected from the birds. So we won't touch the zucchini, we won't pull them out today. I have Alice wanting to play ball with me. I did manage to clean up that big pile of compost from the chicken coop. So I've put that in my compost tumbler and also my raised compost bin thingy over there. But I've got all the bay leaves and I'm not sure what to do with them, and I'm just going to leave them sit and dry out and figure it out later. What are you doing? Hi, darling. Are you guarding the greenhouse? Can I go in the greenhouse? Hey? Can I go in the greenhouse? Alright, let's check on these seedlings. These are a second sowing. We've got some brassicas here. Watch my last video to figure out what they are. Brassicas of some sort. I think a bird came and grabbed a handful because I put them outside to harden on a nice sunny day. Still waiting on the celery. Ooh, there's some sprouts just there. So this row is celery, that's why it's a bit more of a gap compared to the others, and I'm realizing now that I'm definitely an oversower. So I need to get better at that because I haven't got much space for them. The timing's working out well because I just showed you them with the cauliflower. It's just starting to form heads at the moment, so then when I harvest them, they'll get bigger, and I may have to pot them into a bigger pot so that they are more established seedlings when I go to plant them in the ground after I harvest the first batch of cauliflower. So trying to get better at succession sowing, and yeah, I'll just make the space. I'll find the space when the time comes to plant them out. I've also got some ginger in this pot here, which I will wait until it dies back. It's starting to at the moment. That one leaf is dying back. It may just get killed off in a frost. We'll wait and see a bit longer, a few more weeks I reckon, and then I might just have to harvest it. but we'll wait and see. Let's get the eggs while we're out here as well, so then I know everything is up to date. So we've got one egg here. They're slowing down a bit now. We've got 3 chickens and I've only got 1 today, so that's not a very good sign. I have been getting 5 over 2 or 3 days, so I know that they're 1 out of 3 is, let me hang on. As soon as they get out, they just come and scratch up everything. Come on. Alright, so as I was saying, 1 egg today. That means only one of them's laying. They are probably coming up to 18 months old. I got them in January last year. Yeah, so they're probably at 18 months now. And for Isa Browns, which is that breed of chicken, their probably peak is 18 months, and then they start to slow down a lot, and that's when chicken farmers like replenish their hens. So they've always got fresh chickens, so their productivity is always high. But I really hope I don't end up with no eggs a day or 1 egg a day. I know it's part of life and that's what happens during winter, but this will be my first winter with no eggs. So we'll just see what happens. Unless they're laying somewhere else in the coop and they're not laying in their nesting box, but I don't think so. It's getting cooler, daylight hours are getting less, so I think they're just slowing down in production. I've got some broccoli here, which might look like that it's just starting to form if there's no aphids involved in there. I had to come and spray with a hose a whole bunch of aphids, but it looks like the heads are just starting to form. So broccoli's doing well, and snow peas and lettuce are in this bed, and they are just starting to form some pods as well. Exciting. Winter garden is well underway. So overall, not too bad of a harvest for a end of autumn, kind of like a final harvest of the summer and warm season crops. We've got basil, jalapenos, capsicums, a couple lemons, chamomile, the last basil, 2 butternut pumpkins, 2 loofahs, 1 egg and a little watermelon. So my garden is now done with the warmer weather crops. So let's bring on winter and the winter crops. I've got kale, kohlrabi, garlic, onions, brassicas, all the good stuff already in the garden, all ready to go. So I'm excited, and hopefully I'm able to produce some kind of food during winter. So I'm gonna go put all that food in the kitchen and maybe do something with it, maybe not, maybe we'll leave it for the weekend. And yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.